You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
All decisions across the board until John Jones' third round finish. And just a truly exciting night. Of course, he did the Trump dance. That's what everybody's talking about today. He did a little Trump dance and then gave the thumbs up to Trump. And if you missed that, man, I don't know how you could have. I mean, it's gone viral instantly. Trump walking out and basically the first unofficial cabinet meeting. Elon Musk, Vivek, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, all these people, and I'm probably leaving some out, at UFC 309 last night. And as I said during the watch party last night, it's crazy because the Republicans are popular again. And I really didn't think I'd see this in my lifetime. Like, not popular, but like rock stars. The Republicans, and really they're mostly all Democrats that have got pushed out of their party. And we're not going to get too political today. I'm just trying to set the scene for you. But it used to always be the Republicans who were like, for lack of better words, maybe like the nerdy type, not too exciting, not going against the status quo, whatever that is. Very business-like. And now all of a sudden, you got guys in the middle, moderates, that have come over to the party and they're rock stars. Because UFC is like a macho sport, right? And then you got all these people in attendance from Trump's cabinet. And as Dana White said it best in the press conference, so we'll get into some of that stuff that he said, that it's almost like a weight has been lifted off the country's shoulders. Everybody can kind of breathe now. And that's what it does feel like. With Trump being the president-elect. And Dana White going into more things. But yeah, that was exciting. So we'll wrap that up with Trump last night. I mean, it was exciting seeing him there. As soon as he walked out, I said, okay, this is going to be bigger than Paul versus Tyson. And I'm just talking about for our channel. And it turned out to be that way because Friday night we had a lot of views on the watch party. And I'm like, how are we going to beat this Saturday? Because it's more than our average Saturday. And then Saturday, all of a sudden, Trump's coming out. And I'm like, okay, that's the X factor. It's going up now. And Jones Stipe on our channel surpassed Paul Tyson by far. So Dana White getting into a lot of other topics. And the one that sticks out to me is when they're asking him about, and this just shows the greatness of Dana White, but they're asking him about doing outdoor stadiums, and he explained the Yankees front office was in attendance, talking to him about doing something in Yankee Stadium. And then he goes into all the factors of, like, obviously you lose control of the event. And he explained, like in baseball, when it rains, they have to have a rain delay. And the media's like, so? And he's like, UFC's never doing a rain delay. Does anybody want that? Like, in between fight 3 and the co-main event, we're going to have an hour and a half rain delay? Like that, the UFC is different than other sports. The NFL's close. And if not right there, really. But the UFC is different from other sports where it's an experience. NBA is kind of the same way. You don't want to delay in the action. And that's why, you get it every once in a while in football, but it's still football, and it's less and less stadiums are outdoors. So it's not that bad. But in baseball, when you have a delay, it just takes all the energy out. I remember I went through that as a kid, man. Sat there for like 2 hours waiting on inning 7, 8, 9, and then nothing happened in those innings. So now you're there 3 hours. And, you leave the event like with a bad taste in your mouth. You don't ever leave the UFC event with a bad taste in your mouth unless it comes from the judges or just a lackluster fight. And that always comes down, it's not the production, it comes down to the fighters and the situation that's out of the UFC's control. But you don't ever leave there saying, oh, in between, before the main event, we had to wait an hour, right? That's boxing's big problem. If Dana White gets over there and starts a company and just starts to compete, he would take over boxing, and it seems like that's where he's headed. And it's not because he wants to take it over, it's because he wants to revive it. And you see with the UFC, like he said, and just like I always think, man, and I explained too, the UFC's like boom, 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 And I'll tell you, when we're doing the breaks for the watch party, and we're starting to, took us a while to get into a good rhythm, but we're there now. We do like a break of 13 to 15 minutes. And usually when that breaks over, it finishes with the prediction of the upcoming fight, and boom, it's fight time. within a minute or two. So, I mean, you're talking like 15 to 17 minutes after the previous fight, the next fight is starting. That's after the walkouts and everything. Like the UFC wastes no time, and that's why they're successful, because of the experience. Like Dana White said, we don't need a podcast before the main event. Like, it's just crazy, you know? And that's what you're getting. It's true, man. An hour before the main event, someone's got to do a lot of talking. So, great press conference, you know, and I'm watching the press conference and I'm sitting there commentating while I'm watching the press conference. No video on or anything, just simply commentating, because I'm agreeing with like 99% of what Dana White says. Now, the one thing I'm still trying to figure out is he really wants his Tom Aspinall fight with John Jones. John Jones wants Alex Pereira. Dana White says there's really no reason to do that, but if the fans want it, then we'll make it happen. And it really, if you're going to do that, the time is now, because both of those guys are getting older. They're not going to last forever. So you got to do it here soon. But, you know, and that might be a good going out party for both fighters. And maybe it does take another 2 years before we see that, and that's a big risk that these guys both stay on top.
He's gon' fight, wait, he's gon' fight, wait, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height, yeah. Bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight, hold up, think twice, gladiator, assassin, reckless, no abandon, walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass stranded.